Hey guys, I thought I'd do a late post because the energy is wild since this full moon, since the north and south nodes kind of moved into Virgo and Pisces on the 11th, I believe, which is setting the tone for something and setting the stage for something new. I'm not an astrologer necessarily, but I do like to follow the transits and planetary movements because it gives us insight into what else is influencing the things that are going on. But what is coming through really strong and has been for a couple of weeks, and I was like, I have to post this to my YouTube. I have to post this to my YouTube. Is that your frequency is really starting to show. How you vibrate is really starting to show. And this is going to hit you if you're part of the contingent and collective who I'm addressing to and who I'm picking up on. You are out vibing the people who can no longer be in your life. You're just it's not happening anymore in the way that you used to relate to them, you used to communicate with them. It's coming to a point where it's like difficult to even be around them. You might even see physical symptoms of you recognizing that you're no longer a vibrational match for these people who have probably been in your life for a while, years. And more as your frequency is raised and your vibration is in earnest, just kind of skyrockets up and continues to, it's going to be difficult for you to justify a lot of the relationships that are in your life. Because the ultimate goal in terms of the physical body, when we get to a place where the earth isn't even a circular water-bearing planet, so to speak, when we get to a point where there's a certain shape that it's going to be, and our bodies are going to be translucent, almost crystalline, and our frequencies are going to be so high vibrational, the things that will be literally part of the earth in a way that's less meaty and this and in order to get there, we need to consistently stay in a high vibrational state and continue to raise our frequency. You can't do that if you're surrounded by people who are perfectly fine to exist in, who are perfectly okay to continue to exist in a low frequency. It's just, there's so many reasons why they're okay to stay there. They are younger souls. They are enjoying the matrix. And that's okay, The world is just full of amazing things, and I don't blame anyone for being attached to those amazing things and not trying to go beyond that. But you are, and you have been, and you are reckoning with the things that no longer align with who you're becoming. And it's frustrating for people to witness this because they can't control it. And that's something that everyone, I don't care who you are, everyone at some point has to cross paths with their eagerness to control every single outcome. It's part of kind of like the human experience, right? Because if we're in a state of control, we're the most comfortable that we can possibly be. And so if you're in a state of control, you can dictate a lot of the outcomes in this matrix, in this 3D world. And so the higher your frequency, rises, you part ways with control. and you make peace with the fact that a state of flow is the way of the universe, the way of the one, the way of oneness. So baby steps, right? Because it's as much as it took us millions of years to get down, or to go down in terms of our frequency and our vibration, it's going to take just as long to get up. And we're on that. It was for a while, I felt like we were here. Now it's like we finally, like the tide is turning, and now it's like upwards. And so the people who are going to get left behind are going to get left behind in this lifetime, and maybe the next lifetime they'll be able to catch on that wave towards ascension, right? So how it looks, major one is that you no longer align with the people who are in your life. But it's a tough one, right? It's a balancing act, because you can't discard people necessarily. And this, family members are not going to be in alignment with you, and your belief system, that's changing. And the fact that you can, you listen to people and their religious jargon, and you have to hold your laugh in because you don't want to offend the people who are still very religious, and religion is on its way out, right? As we increase our frequency, some people are still holding on for dear life. Religion itself, that consciousness, is holding on for dear life, but it has no space in the new age. It doesn't have a place there. Depression will come and go. Physically, you'll feel nauseous a lot of the times, kind of bloated, maybe constipated. Previous injuries, aches and pains will make a comeback, because as much as or your higher self is guiding you towards the higher frequencies and requiring of you that you continue to raise your frequency and your vibration, it's not going to be as easy as just that. The things that are still tied to the old order are going to hold on to the old order for dear life, by way of showing you the things that you still need to work on, and also trying to pull you back to your old habits. Right? Because if you're in kind of like a up and down roller coaster of moods, it takes away from your motivation to keep going. And you have to keep going. As frightening as it is, as difficult as it is, as difficult to understand, don't even waste your breath trying to explain it to anyone outside of you. Unless you have those people you can trust on this journey, and likely they are people who are on the same journey. Unless you have that crew of people, I wouldn't bother trying to explain the path that you're on. Also, the opening of certain gifts will be opening up to you more and more. And it's funny we call them gifts, but these are things that are very commonplace in the new order, or in the new world that we're trying to get towards, or we're trying to get back to. We had powers, we could manipulate the elements, and we didn't even have to, it wasn't even that deep. You just had to think it, know it, and become one with it. And so as we ascend and we get to a point where ascension is just inevitable, oneness becomes the frequency. And of course, with oneness, it means you are literally one with everything, every part of your world. So how could you not be able to manipulate the elements, speak to the trees, ask them for favors, etc.? You're changing, and it's really confusing, and you need to stay on course.